You know that very specific, almost intoxicating feeling when you walk into a hardware store on a Saturday morning.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Smelling the fresh cut pine right when you walk in.
Right, and you see all the shiny new hand tools lined up in the aisles, and you just have this like crystal clear vision in your head.
The vision of the perfect weekend project.
Exactly. You are going to build the ultimate rustic chic coffee table for your living room, and it's going to be perfect.
Well, in your head it is, anyway.
Right, which is exactly why today's deep dive is just so crucial. We've got a comprehensive guide on our desks comparing this massive debate in the DIY world.
Great divide.
Yeah, navigating the wild west of free woodworking plans versus investing in, structured premium collections. Specifically, we're looking at a heavy hitter called Teds WoodWorking Plans.
Which is a massive collection.
It really is. So our mission today is to figure out if paying for a structured library actually saves your sanity, or if the sea of free resources on the internet is, well, enough to get the job done.
Because that transition from that beautiful Saturday morning dream to the Sunday afternoon reality.
Where everything goes wrong.
Yeah, where your garage is just covered in sawdust, you're bleeding slightly from some mystery scrape, and the wood you cut looks less like a coffee table and more like, I don't know, abstract art.
A Picasso table.
Right. And all of that comes down to the blueprint. Without a reliable set of instructions, you aren't really building anything.
No.
You're just kind of aggressively guessing with sharp tools.
That's a terrifying way to put it, but so true. So whether you are, prepping for a weekend project or wanting to build custom furniture to escape that trap of cheap particle board stuff.
Which we all want to escape.
Definitely. Or even if you're just insanely curious about the makerspace, this deep dive is your shortcut to understanding how to navigate the workshop.
And save some time and money.
Exactly. And honestly, woodworking has never been more accessible. Like, you want to build a birdhouse, a bookshelf, a full-scale replica of a medieval catapult.
I mean, you can find a plan for literally anything.
Right. Thousands of free plans are just a click away. It feels like you have a master carpenter looking over your shoulder for free. But before we even pit free against paid, we need to establish the baseline.
The why.
Yeah. Why do these plans matter so much in the first place? Like, why can't we just look at a picture of a table and wing it?
Well, a woodworking project is fundamentally an exercise in logistics.
Okay, logistics.
Yeah, the plan is your logistical roadmap.
Yeah.
I think people often look at blueprints as like training wheels.
Oh, like something you ditch once you get good?
Exactly. Something you abandon once you get the hang of a saw. But the reality is quite the opposite. Even highly experienced master builders rely heavily on incredibly organized material lists and cut sheets.
Really? So it's not just a beginner thing?
Not at all. It is the standard for safety, and it heavily dictates your efficiency. A good plan does the heavy lifting before you ever even plug in a tool.
Huh.
It helps you estimate material costs accurately, which is huge, given how expensive lumber can get these days.
Oh, absolutely.
It saves massive amounts of time during construction, and ultimately, it just yields a cleaner, professional result.
It makes me think starting a project without a good plan is honestly like trying to bake a cake by just throwing flour and eggs in a bowl, eyeballing the sugar, and hoping a cake comes out.
That is a perfect analogy.
Like, you might get something edible, but it's probably not going to be a cake.
No, probably a brick.
Right. Because in baking, if your ratios are off by a fraction, the chemical reaction fails and the whole thing just collapses in the oven.
And in woodworking, the mechanics demand the exact same precision.
Yeah.
If your measurements are off by even a fraction of an inch, your drawer won't close, the table will wobble.
Oh, worse.
Or the joints will literally snap under pressure.
So the recipe dictates the result.
Exactly. And because the recipe is so vital, beginners naturally flock to the easiest, most frictionless option first, which is free plans.
Sure, because there's no barrier to entry.
Right, the appeal is zero financial risk. You can find them instantly online. They're fantastic for learning very basic techniques or just dipping your toes in the water with a simple, low-stakes project.
Just to see if you even like woodworking.
Yeah. And to be fair, there are incredibly talented woodworkers out there who share their genuine expertise online for absolutely nothing.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
But let me push back a little here. If absolute precision is the baseline, it's actually wild that a beginner's first instinct is to trust a random, unvetted PDF from, like, a 10-year-old blog.
Right?
Like, if talented woodworkers generously share excellent plans online for free, there has to be a catch. Why would you pay for a cookbook if the recipe is free online?
Well, the catch, and this is the real hidden cost of free, is that they are wildly, unpredictably inconsistent.
Inconsistent how?
You are basically at the mercy of the creator's specific communication style,
Yeah.
their level of detail, and honestly, their technical ability to document their own process.
Oh, because being a good builder doesn't make you a good teacher.
Exactly. You might find a plan with beautiful, high-resolution photos of the finished product, which gets you all excited to build it. But then when you look closer, it completely lacks exact dimensions.
Oh, I hate that. Like when it just says, cut the side panel to fit.
Yeah.
To fit what?
You are literally left guessing. And in woodworking, guessing is expensive.
I can imagine.
Just imagine you're building a simple bookshelf. The free plan you downloaded tells you to buy plywood, but it doesn't specify the thickness.
Oh.
So you assume it means 3/4-inch plywood. But the creator actually used 1/2 inch.
That sounds like a minor detail, but I'm guessing it's not.
Right, a 1/4-inch difference adds up fast. It snowballs entirely. By the time you attach, say, 4 shelves, the entire interior frame is pushed out by a full inch.
Wow, an entire inch.
Yeah. Now, the backing board you pre-cut no longer fits. The trim you bought is too short.
What a nightmare.
Small measurement errors at the beginning of a project don't just stay small, they amplify. The whole piece is ruined, and that beautiful photo you saw online suddenly feels like a total mockery.
Yeah, the sources we're looking at specifically call out incomplete material lists as another massive trap.
Oh, definitely.
Like a plan will tell you what you are building, but not exactly what you need to buy to make it happen. So you head to the DIY store without a detailed shopping list.
If you just guess.
Yeah, and you end up buying way too much lumber just in case, which completely blows your budget.
Or worse, you buy the wrong size hardware.
Yes, you grab 1-inch screws when the joint actually required 1.25 inches, and you don't even realize this fatal error until you are trying to attach a heavy hinge at 10 p.m. on a Sunday.
When the store is closed.
The store is closed and the screw is just spinning endlessly in the wood. It's infuriating.
It really is. And then there is the visualization problem.
What do you mean by that?
Well, building is an inherently spatial activity, right?
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of free tutorials rely almost entirely on written instructions.
Just blocks of text.
Yeah, they read like a novel. But without detailed diagrams, illustrations, or what we call an exploded view.
Which is when the drawing pulls all the pieces apart so you can see how they fit together.
Exactly, where they interlock.
Yeah.
Without that, beginners struggle immensely to visualize complicated cuts. Telling someone to join part A to part B at a 45-degree angle means very little if your brain can't see a picture of how those parts orient in three-dimensional space.
Okay, I get it now. It sounds exactly like buying a secondhand Lego set only to realize page 4 is missing from the manual.
Yep.
And half the pieces in the box are for a completely different set. Like, you have the illusion of instructions, but in reality, you're just left to figure it out yourself.
And to take the pain of that missing page a step further, consider the issue of digital rot.
Digital rot.
Yeah, this is a massive, often overlooked problem with free online resources. Because this content is usually maintained by individuals on hobby blogs or forums, it is incredibly fragile.
Oh, sure. Because servers cost money, people lose interest in their blogs.
Websites change hands, all of it.
It's like a friend who gave you half a recipe on a sticky note, promised to text you the rest, and then immediately changed their phone number.
That is exactly what it feels like. You might start a project based on a great blog post, buy all the wood, make your initial cuts, go away for a week, and come back to find the site is just gone.
Oh, that would be so frustrating.
The downloadable PDF vanishes. The YouTube video that showed the crucial assembly step suddenly gets marked as private.
Images stop loading.
Yep. Finding replacements or trying to reverse engineer the rest of the project from memory can completely shatter your workflow and your motivation.
So the hidden cost of free is really the hours of tedious searching.
Exactly. Parsing through websites where one has professional computer-aided design drawings, the kind architects use, and the next just has a picture of a napkin with some rough math scribbled on it.
So if piecing together broken links and decoding napkin math is the headache, it makes total sense that the market responded with a painkiller.
It did.
Enter the premium library. And from our sources, the main feature these paid collections are selling isn't necessarily just better or more unique projects, but consistency.
Consistency is everything. Premium collections are designed to solve the exact problems of missing measurements and dead links by offering a standardized, organized environment.
Right.
And this actually gets into the psychology of how we work. When every single project follows a familiar, reliable structure, It dramatically reduces your cognitive load.
Cognitive load, meaning like how much mental RAM you are using up just trying to decipher the paper in front of you?
Yes. When every free plan looks completely different, your brain spends 30% of its energy just learning how to read the author's specific layout.
That makes a lot of sense.
You have to hunt for the cut list, decipher their unique shorthand, figure out their measurement style.
It's exhausting.
But when you use a standardized premium library, your brain offloads that stress entirely. You aren't learning how to read the plan, you're just learning how to build the chair.
Because it's a universal language across the whole library.
Exactly. You know exactly where to look on the page for the cutting list. You know the diagrams will always be scaled correctly. It shifts your energy away from interpreting and puts it directly into the actual crafting of the wood.
Okay, let's look specifically at the massive resource mentioned in our guide, Teds WoodWorking Plans. We're talking about a digital library containing approximately 16,000 woodworking plans.
Which is a staggering number.
Right. And it covers a huge range of skill levels, from simple household items like cutting boards, scaling all the way up to large outdoor builds like sheds, gazebos, and intricate bedroom furniture.
Everything you could imagine.
And it claims to provide the complete package for each. Step-by-step assembly sequences, exact dimensions, clear blueprints, and tool recommendations. But, wait, 16,000 plans? Come on, who really needs that? That sounds less like a useful tool and more like a marketing gimmick, doesn't it?
I can see why you'd say that.
Because for a learner who hates info overload, 16,000 options sounds absolutely paralyzing. It sounds like the Netflix scroll of doom, but for lumber.
The Netflix scroll of doom. I like that.
Like, I just want to build one patio chair. I don't want to sift through a database the size of the Library of Congress.
Well, if they just dumped 16,000 PDFs in an unorganized folder, you would be absolutely right. It would be paralyzing and completely useless.
Okay.
But the value of a resource like this isn't merely the sheer volume of projects. It's the organization of that volume. It's an indexed, searchable library, not a junk drawer.
Ah, okay. So the focus is on eliminating the search phase entirely.
Precisely. The collection is categorized by project type: garden benches, outdoor sheds, children's toys, workshop organizers, tables, chairs, home decor.
So it's heavily structured.
Right. So when you decide you want to build that patio chair, you aren't scouring Google, rolling the dice on the first 10 blogs that pop up and hoping one of them has accurate math.
You just go to the patio chair section.
You go to the patio chair category in the library, where you know the plans have already been vetted for clarity and completeness. It saves those countless hours normally spent searching, verifying, and comparing conflicting instructions.
It eliminates decision fatigue.
Exactly.
There's another detail in the source material about Ted's plans that I think is really crucial for the weekend warrior.
What's that?
It notes that many of these projects are designed with commonly available tools in mind.
Oh, that is huge.
Because there is nothing worse than finding a quote-unquote free plan online, reading through to step 5, and suddenly the creator casually mentions that you now need to run the piece of wood through a $5,000 computer-controlled industrial CNC router.
Right, or an enormous floor-standing planer.
Yes. And you're standing in your garage with a basic circular saw and a cordless drill, feeling completely defeated.
It's so demoralizing. And it highlights the stark difference between plans written by professional cabinet makers for other professionals and plans written specifically for everyday hobbyists.
That distinction really matters.
It does. A premium collection that targets the hobbyist understands the physical and financial limitations of a home workshop. They deliberately design the assembly sequences to work with standard power tools and hand tools.
So it keeps it accessible.
Very. By doing so, it democratizes the building process. It says you don't need a commercial shop to build something beautiful and structurally sound.
Well, we've mapped the territory pretty thoroughly here. We have the wild, unpredictable, but zero-cost world of free plans on one side.
The Wild West.
Right. And we have the structured, consistent, but paid environment of premium libraries like Ted's on the other.
Yeah.
So let's bring it back to you, the listener. We need to figure out exactly which camp you fall into. Let's do a showdown. Which builder are you?
Let's start with the free plan builder. This is typically the occasional builder, someone who might only pick up a hammer once or twice a year.
Fair enough.
It's for the person who wants to try their hand at a very simple project, maybe a basic window box for plants, with absolutely zero budget impact. If they mess it up, they haven't lost an investment in the instructions.
It's also for the tinkerer, right?
Well, absolutely.
The person who actually enjoys the puzzle aspect of a project. The person who doesn't mind adapting incomplete instructions, who treats reverse engineering a missing measurement as part of the fun of the hobby.
Yeah, they like the improvisation.
Exactly.
For the tinkerer, the journey of figuring it out, the trial and error, is the reward itself.
True.
Now, contrast that with the premium collection builder. This is the regular builder, or the aspiring regular builder.
Sure.
It's someone who values accurate cutting lists above all else because they actively want to eliminate trial and error.
They want the relaxing Saturday morning project to actually remain relaxing on Sunday afternoon.
Precisely. They value the convenience of a centralized hub over endless internet searching. They want a guarantee.
A guarantee of what?
They want to know that when they buy the wood on Friday, they have a near 100% chance of successfully assembling it by Sunday evening without any panic trips back to the store.
The guide makes a really important overarching point here, though. Regardless of the price tag, whether you decide to scour the internet for free plans or buy into a massive library good documentation is the ultimate decider.
Always. It is the great equalizer in the workshop. You must learn to evaluate a plan before you make a single cut.
So what exactly are we looking for?
You're looking for a few non-negotiable elements. First, exact measurements for every single component.
Okay, no guessing.
Right. Second, multi-view diagrams, meaning the plans show you the piece from the top, the front, and the sides so your brain can build a 3D model.
Got it.
Third, exhaustive material lists and exact hardware specifications. Fourth, visual cutting layouts that show you how to map your pieces onto a sheet of plywood to minimize waste.
Oh, that's smart. Saves money on lumber.
Exactly. And finally, a logical assembly order. If a plan lacks those, whether you paid for it or not, it will likely lead to frustration.
So let's bring it down to the absolute bottom line for the listener. Is paying for a structured library an absolute necessity to be a good woodworker, or is it just a luxury for the impatient?
Well, honestly, neither approach is automatically or universally better.
Really?
Free plans will always remain an excellent starting point for simple projects and for getting a feel for the tools. You can absolutely be a brilliant woodworker using only free resources, provided you have the patience to sift the gold from the sand and the experience to fill in the blanks.
Right, if you have the time and skill.
But time is a currency just like money.
The ultimate cost-benefit analysis.
Exactly. If you find that you are spending more time sitting at your computer searching for reliable instructions, fixing dead links, and double-checking someone else's math, then you are actually standing at your workbench holding a saw.
Which is the fun part.
Right. Then the equation changes. The convenience, the psychological relief of consistency, and the structured learning environment of a resource like Teds WoodWorking Plans will quickly pay for itself and save time, save materials, and significantly reduce frustration.
So the initial financial cost is outweighed by the peace of mind.
Yes.
It's an investment in your own enjoyment of the craft. And I think that is the most important takeaway here. The ultimate goal isn't just acquiring thousands of PDFs on a hard drive.
No, not at all.
It's about completing your projects confidently, safely, and producing results that you are actually proud to show off in your home. Like, you don't want a wonky leaning table.
Yes, Al.
You want the beautiful, sturdy table you envisioned in your head on that Saturday morning at the hardware store.
The plan is just the map. The destination is the joy of the build and the pride of the finished piece.
Which brings me to a final thought I want to leave you with. We've spent this time talking about the beauty of perfectly structured, foolproof instructions that eliminate all the guesswork. But consider this. If massive premium collections can standardize instructions so perfectly that absolutely anyone can flawlessly replicate a beautiful piece of furniture without a single moment of trial and error.
Okay, I see where you're going.
At what point does DIY woodworking stop being a unique, personal craft and start becoming just an offline version of assembling flat pack furniture?
Wow.
Right. Like, when we remove all the friction, do we also remove a little bit of the soul of the craft?
That is a very compelling question. Where exactly is the line between true craftsmanship and simple assembly?
Exactly. It's something for you to ponder the next time you're deciding what to build and exactly how you want to build it.
Definitely something to think about.
Well, we hope this deep dive helped clear up the sawdust around this debate. May your cuts be straight, your measurements be accurate, and your weekends be spent actually building, not just searching. Keep learning, stay curious, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.